legend is remembered for what they built, but the greatest are remembered for how they thought. Elon Musk's mind is not normal.
Because I'm an alien.
Where most people see limits, he sees beginnings. Where most people stop, he pushes further. To understand Elon, we can't just look at Tesla, SpaceX, or X. We have to look inside his head, where relentless vision drives him past limits most of us would never touch. Elon Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa in 1971. As a boy, he was quiet, awkward, and often lost in books. But those books weren't just entertainment. They were blueprints for the future. He devoured science fiction, taught himself to code, and at 12 years old sold his first video game for $500. Musk's mind was already wired differently, curious, restless, unwilling to stop until he figured things out. But life outside of computers was brutal. At school, he was bullied so badly, he once ended up in a hospital. At home, he endured what he later described as mental torture from his father.
About your difficult childhood, will you ever find forgiveness in your heart for everything that has happened to you in that period of your life?
What is forgiveness? Nothing to forgive. And holding on to grudges does not affect the future in a good way.
Most kids retreat under that kind of pain. Musk hardened. He built resilience, a high tolerance for suffering, and a mindset that saw struggle as training. Even as a teenager, he dreamed of escaping South Africa for America, the place where impossible ideas had a chance to become real. In 1995, Musk dropped out of a Stanford PhD program after just 2 days. Most people would have stayed for safety, stability.
When it came time to decide, do I want to do graduate studies or do I want to start this company, and I decided to start the company, I had no money. As a graduate student, I would have received a scholarship and a stipend and so forth. In starting the company, I had nothing. I had no income source.
Musk thought differently. The internet was exploding, and he refused to miss it. With his brother, he launched Zip2, coding day and night in a small rented office. He couldn't afford rent, so he slept on the floor and showered at the YMCA.
When my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA, and we're so hot up we had just one computer, so the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night.
4 years later, Zip2 sold for $307 million.
Sold his software company, Zip2, which enabled newspapers to publish online for $400 million cash.
Receiving cash is cash. I mean, those are just a large number of Ben Franklins.
He could have retired rich. Instead, he doubled down. He launched X.com, an online banking startup that became
and mutual
PayPal.
funds company on the internet that I've started.
Big X. Exactly. X.com. I think X.com could absolutely be a multi-billion-dollar bonanza. Because if you look at the industry that X is pursuing, it's the biggest sector of the world economy.
When eBay acquired it in 2002, Musk made $165 million at 30 years old. Most would have coasted. Musk saw only fuel for risks far bigger than money. That's because Musk doesn't ask what's safe. He asks what's necessary for humanity's future. He poured nearly his entire fortune into 3 impossible ideas: SpaceX, to make humanity multiplanetary; Tesla, to end our dependence on oil; Solar City, to bring solar into the mainstream, all in nearly $180 million. Not half, not some, all. He once said, when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. These weren't companies, they were missions. By 2008, that mindset nearly destroyed him. SpaceX had failed 3 launches. Tesla was weeks from bankruptcy. Musk was out of cash. He later called it the worst year of my
In
life.
2008, we had the 3rd consecutive failure of the Falcon 1 rocket for SpaceX. Tesla almost went bankrupt. We closed our financing round 6 p.m. Christmas Eve, 2008. It was the last hour of the last day that it was possible. We would have gone bankrupt 2 days after Christmas otherwise. And I got divorced. That was like rough, man. Women have scar tissue there.
He was exhausted, stressed, going through a divorce. Most people would have quit. Musk treated failure as data. There was 1 rocket left. If it failed, everything was gone. But the 4th rocket launched. It reached orbit. NASA called. Weeks later, Tesla secured last-minute funding.
This is what victory feels like. Yeah!
Musk went from losing everything to proving he could survive anything. Elon Musk doesn't just run companies, he lives inside them. For decades, he's worked 80 to 100 hours a week, slept on factory floors, even under his desk. During Tesla's production crisis, he moved into the factory and refused to leave till the problems were solved. Nobody ever changed the world on 40 hours a week, he said. For Musk, comfort isn't just unimportant, it's dangerous. Comfort slows progress. Progress is everything, but obsession has a cost. Musk is demanding, impatient, perfectionistic. He inspires, but he also intimidates. Critics call him harsh, colleagues call him intense. Even Musk admits he sometimes wonders if he's insane. But that's the paradox. The same mind that pushes humanity forward also pushes people and himself to the edge. Musk doesn't fear failure. He embraces it. Failure is an option. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough. Most people avoid what might break. Musk builds rockets knowing they might explode, cars knowing they might fail, ideas knowing most will call them impossible. Because to him, the only true failure is quitting. Inside Elon Musk's mind is a relentless vision to move humanity forward, no matter the cost, to build a future worth living in, to bet everything again and again until the impossible becomes real. And Musk leaves us with one question. When the odds are against you, will you still keep going?
Thank you.